Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good this morning. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Guys, make sure you do check out Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Elevating Traders is live, so if you guys are not in the Discord, make sure you're in the Discord. There is discount opportunities there if you're looking to purchase. Check out our website, see what challenges we offer. And if you're interested, use the discount code, which is in the Discord, to achieve a discount when you do purchase. But guys, welcome back to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning, Tashi. Good morning. Good morning. Khan, welcome to the stream. I know I'm saying your name wrong, but welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Karis, good morning. Hope you are doing good. So guys, another trading week ahead of us. What's up, Poppy? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. Another trading week ahead of us. Currently still holding on to pound yen, of course, as always. Yen pairs have definitely started the day off pretty bullish. Again, with this trade, I've kind of just let it do its thing. I'm not really too focused on it, to be honest. I'm more focused on my next trade. Been in this trade for over 3 weeks now, so I'm just going to let it do its thing. It's probably going to take me out for a loss, but I'll let it go and do that before exiting the trade early. There's no point for me to do anything. I already had that predetermined risk when I took the trade. So I'm going to let the market do its thing. I'm looking at some of the yen pairs, and it mostly still sideways. But the key thing for my bearish bias to come into reality is to see that momentum and some breakouts, which we're yet to see. So I'm going to keep an eye on the yen pairs. I'm not really seeing any opportunities at the moment with them. I think USD pairs look pretty interesting at the moment as well. We saw a lot of momentum to the upside for the dollar in the past few days. USD heading to the downs. USD crosses heading to the downside. Euro pushing down. New Zealand dollar, pound USD, dollar CAD pushing up. So we've definitely seen a lot of momentum in that regard. And I'm kind of looking at the USD pairs in a new light, to be honest. In terms of the DXY has been very, very bullish. We're still coming to that top end, that upper end of this range, because effectively we've got the high around there-ish. It's not the cleanest range in the world, but we've got more or less our high and our low there. So as we start to approach around 104, 104.5, this for me looks like a nice turning point for dollar. It may not sell us off completely back to the low, but enough for us to capitalize on a nice swing. And maybe if you're long, to look at for a nice target. So with dollar, I'm still seeing a bit more upside until we get to the 104, 104.5 area. And then I can expect to probably see euro push up, pound push up. But it may just be a pullback for price to have a bigger run to the upside and go and test 106, maybe 107 as well. But this is kind of the move I'm after the next few days, maybe a week. Bit of a retracement because the buys have already happened. The market's already flown to the upside. If you're not already in the buys, it's difficult to get in unless maybe you're intraday and you're kind of looking for some really kind of refined pullbacks, but it's been very difficult to hop into any longs there. Euro has had some opportunities, but again, very minute pullbacks. Unless maybe on like the 15 and below, it'll be difficult to find some meaningful pullbacks on euro as we've been falling. So what I'm looking for is a bit of a pullback soon come for euro. That could be a nice move to take advantage of, but then again, we might topple out and continue down. I have drawn a nice little Fibonacci from the high to the low, and that 50% area does speak to me a little bit. I'm not too sure we'll have a pullback that much, but coming into one of these two areas, I'm anticipating a pullback towards it and maybe some more downside. So now for euro coming to bullish territory, so I wouldn't really be looking to short anymore unless you're just looking for a small piece of the pie. But I think the bigger move in the next few days will be to the upside. But as I said, I do think we'll probably come straight back down again. So that's kind of what I'm looking at across the board, really, for the USD pairs, to be honest. Maybe bar one or two. Kang, what's up? Just entered Euro USD short, but what are your thoughts on this pair? So if you're at an intraday level, I think shorts still look good because I still think there's a bit more upside in dollar, a bit more downside in euro. So I think shorts look good intraday, but I wouldn't be too greedy in terms of the targets. I think if you can get it back into the low there, that's a good trade in itself. Any further, you run the risk of price definitely reversing against you. The market has had such a huge drop in the past couple of weeks. We're very stretched to the downside, not much pullbacks on the 4 hour or the hour. We've only seen really minute pullbacks, as I mentioned. So if you're shorting euro, I think you're definitely well in trend and you've got momentum in your favor. But I wouldn't be too greedy in terms of targets. I think if you can get the trade back to the low, I think that's a nice little take profit area, or at least an area to secure some partials or trade a stop, or just close the trade because we've had such a big drop, probably not going to trend forever. And definitely as we approach some areas like this and dollars approaching some areas around 104, where you do expect to see some sellers step into the market there. So I like it from an intraday level, intraday standpoint. It looks good. Just as we approach 1.082, 1.08, I'll definitely think about securing my gains there. But with context with the market, we've just been selling off gradually. So if we can stay within this channel here, it's a bit of an awkward one, but if you stay within that channel there, I think there's a good chance we'll probably see a push to the downside. So I like it intraday, but I think the bigger move is probably still to the upside, but that might be late in the week or some other time. What's up, Anis? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Karis, what the heck happened to USD this morning? USD's been USD. We don't have any news I'm aware of. Of course, it's not in the US session yet, so we definitely don't have any news. I need to go through the news for the week, see what's cooking. But yeah, USD is just USD. Again, the markets, they move. They don't move, then they move. With my thoughts, I'm just kind of staying with the technicals. If the market's going to be bullish, let it be bullish. If there's a technical setup for me, I'll take advantage. If not, then it can do whatever it wants to do. Nice pop to the upside this morning. No idea why, but the market is in that bullish phase, but that bullish trend really, and looks to be still trying to continue that. So the way I see it, this kind of trend here, this corrective move is still at play. Hey, what's up, everyone? Mr. ET. I'm sure that's taken already with the movie, but yeah, I'll have a little claim to that as well, Mr. ET. And who's that guy with the Snickers advert? Is he ET as well? Can't remember. But yeah, I'll take the title. So yeah, with dollar, we're looking pretty strong. I don't expect it to last forever, and I do think we're coming up to some areas where we're about to reverse. It's just about how much more do we have in the tank before we do hit some levels and see some downside, because the market is really stretched here. Really lovely move, but we're likely going to topple out soon. I'm looking at 104, 104.5 as that area. So that's kind of what I'm eyeing up as a swing. And for euro, like I said, as we approach this low, I do think we can go for a nice little bounce there. For pound USD, it's a different story a little bit, because we're still just about hanging on to this low, which is causing a bit of ruckus at this level. If I drop to the 4 hour, you can see that we've been descending here in this channel, and I'm waiting to see if prices are going to break it to the upside or break it lower. At the moment, it's kind of 50-50, but if I do see a strong break to the high, that'll tell me that the buyers are really back in town, and that we're likely to see more upside. At that point, I would expect to see a push back to 1.325 and maybe back to 1.342 as well. So in regards to the USD pairs, I am looking for that push higher. That's the move I'm looking for. We've had some big sells over the past few days. That ship has sailed. Now it's time to take advantage of the other move, which might just be a retracement of the big bearish move, but probably still worthwhile to look at, and probably could give us a pretty tasty move. Same with like NZD as well, which is broken through this low here too. I do think we can see a bit of a move to the upside at some point. Dollar CAD, likewise, this one's been flying. I do think we can see a move to the downside in the pullback. Aussie dollar, I mean, I'm still looking at buys around here, but I'll expect us to see a bit more downside still as well, and then a push to the upside. Gold's just gold. Look at gold just flying away like a bird. if I can get some pullbacks on gold, I'll be very, very happy. And likewise with silver as well. I expect them both to do the same thing there, really. So, yeah, in my book, I mean, gold and silver I'm just treating differently. They're not really correlated to the USD at the moment, because if they were, they'll be very bearish right now, and they're not showing any signs of that at all. So I'm forgetting the DXY with the gold and silver right now. Just look at what's in front of me, which is a very clear, very strong bullish trend. And after silver had the impressive breakout of the high here, I'm treating silver in the same way. So pullbacks and retests and just looking to buy. So yeah, that's really my verdict with the USD pairs. Mr. T, that's it. I thought it was ET. No, I thought it was ET. Mr. T, yeah. I thought you already coined it, but no. I'll take it then. Up for grabs. But yeah, guys, Elevator Traders is live. It has launched on the weekend. We're looking to slowly progress and grow the business slowly. We're going to be looking to ramp up the marketing in the near future, but we're looking to slowly put our feet in the market and slowly go from there. But if you guys haven't checked out the Discord or the website, make sure you go do so. Link to that in the description, of course. The Discord's linked at the top of the chat. And I've been screaming about it for a while now, so you guys probably already checked it out. But if not, Discord's linked in the description and at the top of the chat. And of course, the website elevatortrades.com is down below. But yeah, in terms of USD, that's kind of where I'm at with USD, which is looking for some pullbacks of that bearish move last week. In terms of the yen pairs start off the week pretty bullish. I mean, to an extent, they've all been very sideways, but nice little pop to the upside this morning. So yeah, it's been pretty boring, to be honest, with the yen pairs. It's been pretty boring. I'm looking for momentum. Maybe we're going to get it now, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe price is just going to come back to the high and come straight back down. Yeah, that's the reality of consolidation. We break out when we break out. It's difficult to tell when we actually do so. Pretty strong close this morning, but I need a little bit more from it. I mean, if we can see some sustained upside, I probably will look to rethink the whole bias I've had with the bearish, with looking for the bearish move. If we start to see consistent high lows, especially above the high here, yeah, I'll be looking at buys for Swiss yen and expecting a push back to 180. So there's definitely reason to expect more upside if we see those breakouts, which look possibly the way to go. Kojo, what's up? Watching live from Ghana, wicked. Whereabouts in Ghana? I don't think I've ever asked. Dark Sean, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. There's a demo for the platform. You mean how to use the platform, the trading platform? Yes, there is a demo which I will be uploading to the Elevating Traders YouTube channel today. So there will be a lot of guides, a lot of like breakdowns, videos, just going over rules and how to use the platform and how to sign up and how to do everything on the website and everything you need to know. So keep an eye out for that. I will be uploading a few videos on that YouTube channel, which is actually live at the moment with this exact same stream. But yeah, in terms of instructions and just how to use the platform and everything and website and everything and the rules as well, I will be uploading that on that channel in separate videos. So once that's live, I'll share it around so you'll see it. So yeah, with the yen pairs, possibly we could be getting ready for some upside. If that's the case, I want to see some big breakouts for these guys, really commit to the upside, break through the highs here, and then I'll start talking about some opportunities like this, because at that point we've got low, high, higher low, higher high, possibly the new higher low, and possibly the new high. And at that point, we broke through that bearish structure, and I'll be looking for some upside on some pullbacks. If not, if you break lower, then yeah, the bearish buy still stands. So I'm kind of a bit of a limbo for CAD yen and other yen pairs at the moment. No problem, Darktron. Happy to help. Okay, I do not know that place in Ghana. I only know the capital of Ghana, to be honest. I mean, that could be in the capital. My knowledge, my geographical knowledge of Ghana is not that good. But wicked, good to see though. Good to see. Is anyone trading any USD pairs at the moment? I know someone is short Euro USD. Oh, did not mean to do that. But yeah, we have seen some nice momentum with the USD pairs, to be honest. If you caught some shorts a while ago, really, really nice move. Not much pullbacks, but the market is getting a little bit tired now. So I do think there could be some nice buys in the meantime. Same with Aussie dollar as well. Lovely move down, but we are becoming quite tired as we approach some big levels of support, which for people like me is a time to start looking for some buys and taking it back to the upside. So if we can get another drop into the low, that would be very nice. And looks like we probably will. Looking at this kind of channel here, most of the USD pairs are kind of descending in nature right now. So again, a very, very big sign that the market is likely to see some upside at some point. It's just, will we get a swing back to the high and will the trend continue? Probably not. Looking at the DXY, we probably will get a push like this and then a continuation. So that might be the play. But if I can profit on a move like this, great. And then probably switch to some sales later on, even better as well. So that's kind of where I'm at with the USD pair. So I think there's a bit more upside to them, or a bit more downside to them, a bit more upside for the dollar. And then maybe some opportunities later in the week, or I don't know. Yeah, later in the week or next week. We'll see. Hopefully this week, though. Let me have a look at the news because I'm actually seeing. I know there's not much for Monday, but Tuesday, yeah, not much Tuesday either. Yeah, nothing on Tuesday. Well, nothing big anyway. Wednesday. Oh, okay. Bank of Canada interest rate decision. That's pretty big. Rates expected to drop from 4.25. The consensus is 3.75. So expecting a drop in rates, which should be pretty weak for the CAD. So if anyone's swing trading CAD, keep an eye on that because that will probably affect your trade. But yeah, if that is going to come into reality, probably going to see a pretty weak CAD towards the end of the week. Yeah, I'll go through some CAD pairs in a moment. Then later that day, not much really. PMI for Aussie. Thursday, a lot of PMI for pound, euro, Germany, USD as well. And then Friday, retail sales. Not much this week, to be honest. No big news events this week, apart from maybe Bank of Canada, which is good, I suppose. Of course, it's always nice to have a bit of momentum with some news. City of Flowers and Plants. Okay. Heard one with a bit of Ghanaian knowledge there. What's up? This pair is fairly new to me, but I would like to know your thoughts on Euro THB. I think that's pairs fairly new to a lot of people. It's new to me, definitely. What's THB? I don't even know what currency. Okay, so how long was my mic off for? Don't know how I do that. Because for me to turn the mic off, I have to click a button. So unless I click that, I don't know. But yeah, as I was saying with this currency pair. Okay, 1 minute. Oh, that's 1 minute too long, boys. My bad. Apologies. Um, you asked what's the THB and the mic went dead since then. Okay. Wait, let me check. Okay, so the mic went off and then it switched to a different mic. But I think, yeah, I think it's back to the main mic now. I need to sort the gain out as well. Yes, 100% better. Okay. Apologies. I don't know why, but I seem to be messing around with the mic a lot more often these days. You need to be careful. But yeah, basically what I was saying with this currency pair is that this is looking very, very. What is that? What happened in October 2004? That was a huge wick. Yeah, so I would highly recommend not to trade this if you don't have to, because it's just a very exotic currency pair. I bet the trading conditions are awful. Okay, guys, thanks for letting me know. I bet the trading conditions aren't great. Spreads would be through the roof here as well. So I would highly advise trading some other markets than euro against the Thai baht. If I'm saying that correctly, probably not. I would definitely recommend other markets to trade. But if you really want to trade it, of course, be my guest. But I would really recommend not to. What I can definitely see is that the market's coming back into some big areas around 35.5, and we've been steaming to the downside. We've probably got still a bit more left in the tank. The market is rejecting that low pretty well, but I would expect a lower high at some point, and another big push down, kind of slowly expanding. I mean, even intraday, the market's moving like a stock. You know, it has its sessions and then dead sessions and then it's dead. So I would highly, highly recommend to go look at another market, really. But yeah, in terms of my analysis, I would still be expecting a bit more downside back into that low at 35.5. Really, really big level there. We're probably going to end up there. And if I was looking to take advantage, I'll be looking at trying to find a place to short. As we approach that trend line, that looks good. But yeah, I would advise looking at other markets, even at other exotics like USDs are not a great pair either, but I think it would be a lot better than euro against the Thai. But yeah, that's kind of how I would look to approach that one. Now I need to keep an eye that I don't accidentally click the mic button. Okay, Aussie CHF. Okay, we'll go through some CHF pairs. I was taken out for break even for my Aussie CHF trade last week, but looking at Aussie CHF, it looks like it's still slowly playing out. It's just the consolidation just took me out with a bit of a fake out. We might still see the continuation. So I go into the trade back over here. That was my entry. So you can see just about taking me out here. This was the consolidation I've been looking at with Aussie CHF. It looks like it may have just kind of faked a bit higher. And now it's looking pretty bearish as well. But the biases still remain the same with Aussie CHF. The goal is for a push back down to the low there. We've got a really powerful level of resistance around here, which is really strong support, resistance over there, support there as well, and resistance over there, which is where I got into the trade, what I based the trade from. It's just that I've been trailed out of the market, but we might be seeing the drop now. And that's kind of one of the downsides of the cross pairs, is that they are a little bit more choppy. So getting trailed out a bit early and stop break even will happen a little bit more often when you're trading the crosses, especially the CHF currency pairs, because these guys, they love their wicks. I mean, look how many times price came to that level, wicked, before it eventually did drop. So it does take its time. And yeah, sometimes the wicks can be a bit annoying. So we'll see what happens with this one. But in terms of the bias, it's definitely very bearish. As long as we stay below 0.586, I'm looking for a swing back into that low. So if you're looking to get involved, finding entries, I'd say the next best opportunity is if price can now break through this level of support and find some entries off the back of that. Or if you want to be a bit more aggressive, you can look to find some entries at the high of the range here, anticipating price will hold it, and then look for your sells around there as well. But either which way, I would be very bearish on this one until the price breaks the high here. If we break the high here, I'll flip that bias around, because if I drop to the daily chart, if we break through that, then I'm expecting a push back to the high. So the analysis will be very, very different. But what I can see from the daily chart, big drop last or a couple of weeks ago, very long consolidation phase, but it might just be price building up into another breakout. So I'm looking at something like this and eventually push into 0.56222. So that's really what I'm looking at for Aussie CHF. In terms of the other CHF pairs, I'm looking for similar moves. I do think we can see a push back into the low here at 0.92726. It's just taking its time. Again, very, very choppy stuff with Euro CHF, but I think we are very likely to break lower. Had a lovely retest here of price support, time resistance. Would have been a nice place for some entries. And since then, the market has been slowly falling with these lower highs, but it's just been very sideways at the same time as well. But in terms of finding entries here, I think the ship is sailed. It'd be too difficult to find good entries in this area unless you're just looking to play the range. But not a big fan really of Euro CHF, but I do see it slowly bleeding to the downside. CAD CHF, this one, again, really bearish still. Trend's been falling for a long period of time. So I do think eventually we'll probably end up back at the low. But in terms of finding opportunities, I've said this is the only area where I would get involved. Anywhere else, I'm not really interested, because we're very, very sideways here. Not looking to get involved in that. Price can push to the high, great. I can put a stop loss there and get involved. Otherwise, I just don't want to touch it. Pound CHF, yeah, not a big fan really either. Nice little retest off that low. Since that's happened, it's just been very, very corrective, so I'm not interested in getting involved. And with Aussie CHF, I just spoke about New Zealand CHF. This one's actually not far from some big levels of support for potentially some longs. If we can hold on to that, that might be some room to the upside. But I'll judge that when we get there. So all in all, CHF pairs, I do think we've got a bit more downside left in them. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. And it's interesting because the CHF pairs are still looking pretty bearish, but if you look at the yen pairs, they're actually looking pretty bullish, at least this morning anyway. In general, they're still pretty sideways, but at least this morning had a pretty big push to the upside, whereas CHF pairs are doing the opposite. And typically, CHF and yen do normally follow each other, not perfectly, but they do follow each other in general direction. When CHF is strong, normally yen is strong as well. And right now, there's kind of a big contrast between the two. So I wonder how long that's going to keep up before it comes into place. In terms of gold, so yeah, gold is pretty self-explanatory of gold. Gold is just on a madness right now. It's doing crazy stuff here. So I would only be looking at some pullbacks and corrections. This is the area I said it would be nice for a pullback, because I was looking for the retest over here. Never happened, unfortunately. I said I was also looking for the retest over here. Unfortunately, never happened. Came pretty close, but not close enough. And then again, we've had another breakout. So I'm hoping we can top out somewhere, see some pullbacks, test 2680, and then look to step back into the market and look to follow that trend, because the market is just so bullish. Looking to do anything else is just very, very difficult. Since the start of the year, it's just been flying. So if you're going to do anything else in gold, if you're looking to short, you can do. There are opportunities. As we can see, there has been some downside, but it's going to be very, very difficult, and you want to be in and out that trade very, very quickly. You don't want to be wasting time sitting in a trade, especially if it starts moving sideways as well. I'm okay to sit in sideways trades because I'm expecting the overall trend to kick in. But if I'm going to be counter trend and go against a trend like this in gold, if it's moving sideways on me, I'm probably just going to call it a day, because there's a very high chance that momentum will step in and just take gold to the upside. So in terms of buys, looking for a pullback and a retest of 2680. Besides from that, that's all I'm waiting for. Not much else I can say about gold apart from the pullback. And in terms of targets, we've got 2750 just above us. Nice little psychological level. And then we've got 2800 not far away either. You know, maybe by the end of the month, we're talking about those prices, which is not far away at all. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with gold. Really, really bullish. View on the DXY currently, okay. If you don't mind sharing, yeah, I'll take a look at the DXY. Poppy gold, a bit of FOMO, yeah. I agree. You know, if you're going to have FOMO, gold is definitely going to be the one to probably give it to you, to be honest. But to be honest, the way I see it, and especially when you've been trading for a while, yeah, in my shoes anyway, FOMO is not really a thing anymore, because there's always an opportunity. Even the markets that do get away and then run. What's up, awareness? Welcome to the stream. Even the markets that do fly and do run away from you, they always do come back, especially in FX. Maybe not so much gold and crypto and indices. They can just fly for a while and you might miss a big move. But at least in the FX, if they do fly away from you, that's fine. 90% of the time, they're going to retrace at some point and give you an opportunity to get back in the trade. It might not be as big of a move as the one you missed, but still enough where you can look to profit from it and win a nice trade. So even with gold being so bullish, it has given some nice pullbacks, to be honest. Yeah, I've been a bit unfortunate with some of these retests here, but it does give some nice pullbacks. And silver probably will give some nice pullbacks at some point as well. So in the moment, it can be very difficult to take, because you're like, oh, I wish I was in that move. But trust me, give it time. There will be opportunities which you can get in. It's just this particular move you're missing out on, yes. But there's always moves in the future. And that's the important thing. But yeah, difficult if you're looking at trading gold and you miss the move. I understand. I don't like trading into thin air. Yeah, I get there as well, because yeah, there's nothing above us. Gold is in uncharted territory. So buying at these prices feels a little bit uncomfortable because we're at all-time highs. But what I have to say is that when gold does get going, it gets going. So I'm not as scared to buy gold at these prices. If this was like Euro USD, I would not look to buy it at all. If Euro USD is in this trend here, I'm expecting to come down very, very hard at some point, because all you need to do is just look back at previous history across the board for FX pairs. 90% of the time, if a pair is very, very bullish, especially at all-time highs, it's going to come down pretty hard at some point, which is why for Swiss yen, I'm expecting a pretty big drop in the next few weeks, few months, because this one's had a pretty big move, new all-time highs. I do think this was going to go for a pretty big drop soon as well. So I'm looking for the reversal here for Swiss yen, but for gold, because I know what gold can do. I know its history. It's done beautiful moves like this in the past. Yeah, it can keep flying. So I'm not afraid to buy gold high, because I know it can go a lot higher. FX currencies, I wouldn't do that. They tend to revert back on themselves. Kojo, you're long pound USD bought. Okay, I'll go take a look at DXY first and share my views on that, and then we'll take a look at pound. I had a feeling gold will break through, but it wouldn't be in a good trade even if it was profitable. Fairs, yeah, that's a good way to look at it as well, Poppy. Because at the end of the day, when it comes back to reviewing your trades, you don't necessarily review based on the result. I mean, you don't do that at all. Sure, you can base a collective of trades and their results, but a singular trade is just based on probability. You can still take a very good trade and lose that trade, but because it was a losing trade, doesn't mean you shouldn't have taken it. Yeah, it's just a losing trade. You know, that's a part of the game. And just because the trade wins doesn't mean it's a good trade as well. So that's a very, very good point. So yeah, it comes back to looking at the trade and seeing if it actually made sense, if it fit the plan well. As long as you can say that, then you did your part, regardless of the result. But in terms of the dollar, I'm looking for big moves to the downside at some point. Of course, on the higher time frames, you can see a really nice range here on the dollar, 105, 900, 106 really. And you got the low there at 100.8. And I'm looking for price to remain in that range. Um, well, I was expecting us to break out this year, but it doesn't look like we will. I do think we've got another bearish swinging us, but will it be enough to get the breakout? We'll discuss when it happens. But as we come back into 104, 104.5, this is an area where I do expect to see some sellers kick in and a nice move to the downside. You can see prior resistance really well over here. Lovely support there as well. I do think we can step back in and see some downside. The market is forming some lower highs here too. So it looks like that could be another place where a lower high does develop. So I'm liking what I'm seeing with the dollar. We've had a really big move to the upside. I think the market's a bit stretched now. So as we do approach some areas around here, I do think we're likely going to see some resistance and some moves to the downside. So for the moment, still pretty bullish on dollar. And then if you can tap into 104, 104.2, that's where I do think dollar's going to go for a bit of a breather. It might not be a crazy move all the way back to the low. It might be halfway, might be a quarter of the way, but that's the move I'm looking for next. Maybe dollar finds some support and continues higher up, but this is the move I'm looking to profit on. At least back into 102.4 to the start of the channel. And then we'll see what happens from there. But that's the move I'm eyeing up on dollar. So of course, expecting the inverse on the euro pairs and pound and on the USD pairs. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on the DXY. Let me know your thoughts as well. But so we'll go take a look at that pound USD position, Kojo. Holy One now buying GA. The sell was messing about at my entry since Friday. Okay. Bias has changed. Okay. We'll take a look at that GA. Aussie dollar, what's your thoughts? Okay, Faye, we'll take a look at Aussie dollar and pound yen for you. Poppy, can we take a look at silver as well? Okay, I'll go through pound first and GA, then we'll take a look at silver there too. So yeah, with silver, with GU, so pound USD is a nice place for a buy. And I am looking for longs, but it needs to break out of this descending channel. And that's the key element that will trigger me into the trade, because if we can see price close strongly above this channel, that for me is an indication that the buyers are stepping in, price is holding support very well, and we're likely going to see upsides. And where my targets are, roughly 1.325 is where I'm seeing price is likely to push into. Because if we do zoom out, look at the larger structure here on the daily chart, the market is still giving us higher highs and higher lows, and it's been doing so for some time. So as long as you stay in this bullish structure, I do think there is upside. But what I can say is, though, that we've seen a prolonged move. The market's a bit stretched. We've taken out some major highs here on the left as well. So it might be time for pound to go through a bit big of a pullback and then maybe kick in bullish at a later point in the year. So the move I'm looking for is something like this, back into the high here, and possibly maybe you find some resistance there, and then we continue down at a later point. But we can talk about that move, when it comes into play. The move I'm looking at now is possibly the breakout of this descending channel on the 4-hour and some buys off this low and a push back into the high here. Then maybe we sell off, or maybe we break through and get some nice buys into the high there as well. But this is the move I'm looking at. But the key element of it is a strong close outside that descending channel. If not, we might remain in it and continue selling off. And then I'll have to rethink things and go again. But a strong close above, that to me is a sign that we're going to see some upside. At the moment, still rejecting the high and probably might get a sell. So things need to change there for pound. But you said you're in a long, 1.30057. Let's see where that is. 1.30057. So that's roughly around here. Stop 1.29353. 1.29. Okay, so you give yourself a decent amount of room there. Stop loss is somewhere around there, and your targets 1.32491. 1.32491. Okay, so basically back at the high there. So in terms of your entry, in terms of your target, in terms of the stop loss, really, I like it. It's just the element of that descending channel price at the moment is respecting it pretty well. So what you're kind of looking for is the break of that. I feel like if you can get the break of that, your trade probably will see a lovely amount of upside. Of course, whether it gets all the way up there, that's just up to the market. Maybe we topple out here, maybe you go further. That's not for us to decide. I think the targets make sense. I would suggest maybe a trading stop along the way or some type of partials, because you just don't want to be a one-trick pony and only be able to take profit at that high, because there are points where price can definitely reverse against you. So you want to protect yourself against that. But yeah, the key thing for your trade planning out, I would say, is the break of that descending channel. If you can see a solid break of that, then the upside is likely. If not, then yeah, we might sell off one more time. But in terms of the location and you're basing it off this low, I suppose I like it. They just need to break out that descending channel and then should be looking good. Should be looking good. Pound USD bouncing off the 100 MA. Okay, let's take a little look at that. By MA, I suppose you mean the simple one. Okay, it's not quite there on the daily. 4 hours up there as well. But yeah, not quite testing on the daily, but near enough in the area. And to be honest, if it continues to consolidate, it probably will come and test it anyway. It did hold it very well back over there, to be honest. So yeah, if we can hold that area of support, the support's the key thing for me. If we can hold that, then the upside looks good. If we start to break through, then yeah, it's not looking too good. But again, you gotta let the market do its thing. If it does break above, great, can manage the trade. If not, you got your stop loss there. I assume you predefine your risk and you're not betting the farm on the trade. So yeah, worst case scenario, you take a small loss. Anyway, we'll take a look at silver. We'll go through GA as well. Again, any markets someone wants me to take a look at, just drop it down in the chat and we'll discuss, see what's cooking. No problem. Happy to help. CS integrated with your insights. Nice, nice. Hey Ben, what's up? Good morning. Good morning. Major bounce this week, or the market is rigged. I think Ben, we already know the answer to that question. The market is rigged, mate. So the major's not going to bounce then. Okay, so we'll take a look at silver and GA. So GA, Holy One, you said you got some longs now. You were short last week. I remember you mentioning. Can't remember where from. I think you said at the top of the week or something. But now you're long. So what's the plan with these longs? Do you have a specific target in mind, or you got an open target? I think in terms of the higher time frames, I'm still looking for a big move to the downside of £4. But those shorts I'm looking at definitely not set up yet. I don't really have any trades for them to take advantage of. In terms of a more intraday lookout, it's really corrected price action, to be honest. So that's kind of why I'm staying away from pound Aussie, Euro Aussie, and those other kind of corresponding markets, because they are very, very choppy. So not a big fan of them. There is a level around here I would watch out for, because that was our high previously. Nice level of support there as well, which I'd watch out for as well. If price can get the break of this area, then we're likely going to push back into the high up there. But yeah, we need to break through that. So I would watch out for this high. I suppose your target is probably the high here, so basically in the same area. But that's definitely an area where we might sell off again. But because the way the market's moving, it's just up and down, breaks the range, comes back inside. You know, it's just very kind of flat, which is markets I want to kind of stay away from. I like the markets that just have that one direction. Doesn't have to be clear and clean cut all the time, but just generally be trending in one direction. In terms of the 4 hour hourly, it's a bit all over the shop. But in terms of momentum right now, it looks like we are footing the higher low end. So upside looks likely. But when we come back into 1.953, 954, that could be a turning point. So I would be careful. And I think you are trading intraday anyway. So yeah, I think if you're targeting around there, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, we'll take a look at silver. Wicks of the H4 highest is the target. So is it this wick or that wick there? 95627. 95627. Okay, so you're looking at around here. So yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Pretty much lines up with the high there as well. So probably get to there and then start to see a bit of noise anyway. So I like the targets. If you're targeting up here, that would be a bit more optimistic. Not that we can't do that, but we need to really break through this first. And knowing pound Aussie, we might go and do that, but it could be a situation where we push, take you out, break even or whatever, and then move in your direction, which could be pretty annoying. But it's just because the market's a bit choppy, unfortunately. But I don't mind the buys there intraday. Anyways, in terms of silver for me is just the same as gold, really. In fact, silver might be the better one because gold, of course, all-time highs, flying high. Silver's nowhere near the all-time highs. Absolutely nowhere near it. All-time highs are here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, about $50. And we're trading at 34. So we got a long way to go before price gets back to the highs. And after last week's price action, really solid bullish candlestick closure above the high. That to me is a clear sign that, okay, the buyers are back in the market. We're taking control. And we're probably going to just do what gold is doing because, of course, gold and silver, they pretty much do the same thing. Normally, kind of gold makes the move first and silver follows. So if that's the case, I think silver is going to start to really trend now. So if we can get some pullbacks, this was a really nice level here, very infamous. 32.5 held the market for quite a period of time. But now with that solid candle close on Friday, that's a beautiful breakout. And if you can get a retest of that, I'm all over that for some longs. I'm going to be pretty aggressive with silver and gold because the trend's aggressive. So if I can get the retest there, I'm looking for my entries and I'm taking that trade. Of course, risk management is always going to be there. I'm not going to go aggressive in terms of the risk, but just in terms of the entries, I'm going to be trying to be quick to enter. But yeah, I just expect almost an upwards for silver. The only thing is targets are a little bit difficult. Me personally, I'll be trading stops, so targets isn't really an issue. I'll just be trading and seeing how far I can take it. But let's say that we do pull back from here and get a retest. The only kind of self-explanatory target would be back at the high. After that, it's kind of just looking at Fibonacci extension levels, maybe, or maybe psychological levels, or trading stop. Really, I think the trading stop is the best way to go, especially in these conditions, because we haven't traded at these prices since 2012. So over a decade, we haven't been at these prices. So it's a bit difficult to use structure all the way over there. But yeah, in terms of the direction, onwards and upwards, and just looking for a break and retest. Okay, so I'll go through Aussie dollar. I'll go through pound yen as well. Ben, I know any setups for this week. Not much on my radar, to be honest. But the two markets I love the most at the moment right now, I've already gone through them, which is gold and silver. Those are the two markets I love the most, to be honest. The yen pairs, I'm keeping an eye on them, but they're not looking good in terms of my bias there. So I'm going to wait to see how they develop and wait for the breakout, really, because they've been ranging intraday on the 4 hour chart. So I'm going to wait for them to either break up or break down, then I'll probably reanalyze them. In terms of the dollar pairs, there are some buys that I do like. Euro USD buys, I think a short-term buy there looks good. I like Aussie dollar, short-term buy there as well. Off that low looks good. It might be the bigger sell still. But in terms of the clear-cut setups that aren't still, that don't really give me much doubt, is gold and silver longs. If they can get some nice breaking retest, I think that would be phenomenal trades, especially with my style in terms of trading and just letting price do its thing. I think gold and silver will give me the most reward if I do catch them. I'm more concerned about silver as well. So that's really where my focus is. The cross pairs have been not great, to be honest. So yeah, there's no real cross pair I'm eyeing up, to be honest. Euro NZD, pound NZD, Euro Aussie, Euro pound, pound Aussie. Yeah, all these guys are just very choppy. In terms of the CHF pairs, I think me getting shut out of Aussie CHF means that boat is kind of sailed. They've already had some big moves down, so I'm not looking to jump into them now. It's a bit late to the party. So really, it's gold and silver that looks good, and then maybe some of the USD pairs that might set up late in the week as well. And the yen pairs, I'm just going to wait for them to develop, really. Yes, I'm still in the pound yen trade just about, but I'll probably be stopped out pretty soon. It doesn't look like we'll get the big sell. This is still the resistance that's kind of keeping the market moving sideways, but I think it probably will break to the upside because we're kind of squeezing like this, to be honest. So it's either we're going to blow through the top or we're going to break down like that. But as I've said, I'm just going to let the market do its thing. If it stops me out, it stops me out. If it reverses, it reverses. But yeah, still just about in that trade, which has been, to be honest, it's not been that difficult to hold, surprisingly, because I've just been focused elsewhere. So I haven't been watching the trade and hoping. If I was, probably would have driven myself mad by now. Yeah, yen pairs do look bullish. A strong candle this morning, so it looks like they may be looking to break higher. And if that's the case, then I have to rethink that bias I've had because I've been very bearish on them for a while. But if they are going to break out and do something like this, that definitely does invalidate my bias because a strong break of that is not what I've planned for. And if we do see something like this, then at that point, we're starting to get some higher highs and higher lows. And at that point, I'll be looking for retest and some buying opportunities. Again, we may not be coming all the way back to the high there. I think that's a pretty confident outlook to be looking for CAD yen to reverse all of that momentum. I mean, we could do, but it's not going to happen overnight. You can see that when we do trend to the upside, it's a bit slow, it's a bit more corrective. When we fall to the downside, it's a lot more aggressive. So if we are going to continue back to the high, it's going to take quite a period of time, but there'll be pullbacks along the way, and that's all we're looking for as traders. If it does take ages, that's not really our concern. If there's buying opportunities along the way to profit from them, that's really what we're after. But yeah, if we do break through that, then I'll be looking at some buys, something like that to take higher. And I probably will have to switch my bias around with the yen pairs. But yeah, I'm going to see what they do because they're still very sideways. They could still break down, but I'm going to let them break out first, and then I'll cement things. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the yen pairs. Yeah, GJ is milking people from there with no fees 100%. I've been sitting in that position for for over 3 weeks now, so hasn't been cheap. GJ indicates say buy for ages RSI, but I know people will say to hell with your indicators. Yeah, it tells you a lot of time. Again, it's when people know how to actually use them, because a lot of indicators have a bit of bad rep on social media, so that's why people are very quick to disregard indicators and throw them away. But if you can use them well, again, price is always going to be the most important indicator in terms of reading price and candlesticks and market structure and trends. That's the most important indicator. But if you can add things to that to make your life easier and make things a bit more accurate and more confident and more probable of playing out, then indicators can be a very good tell sign of what the market's going to do next, to a good degree, if you know how to use them. If you don't know how to use them, then of course they're going to be useless as well. Same thing as price. as well. If you know how to use them, then it can be very effective. But if you don't, then of course they're not going to work well. Just with as anything. Um, yeah, I agree, Ben. They've just been slowly building up. So I do think a big move's coming with the yen pairs. It's looking like it's probably going to be to the upside. Um, yeah, hopefully they just get on with it, to be honest, because they've just been moving horrendously for the um, past 3 weeks, really. So hopefully we can just get the breakout, get things rolling, and see some nice opportunities. Victor, I think it will sell KGN. There's a resistance at the top. I agree, there is strong resistance there, but I mean, that resistance has held us, which is kind of why we're sideways, because we did come into the resistance and the market did hold. And that's the thing with consolidation as well. We could break out either way. We could break out to the upside, we can break out to the downside. No one really knows. We can have our guesses, of course, but until it does break out, then we know which way, of course. So yeah, if it does break to the downside, then cool. I do think the sells are very much back on, and then we can start to discuss some shorts on some retests. I was pointing this out in my weekly analysis. Something like this looks really good, and target is back into the low down here or the low down here, so on and so forth. So there's shorts there to be taken advantage of, and equally there's definitely longs to be taken advantage of as well. Should we get a nice strong break to the upside? As I mentioned, we've got this bullish structure at play here. My job would to be find the next higher low, and a retest of that level looks really good as well. Retesting the range too. So either way, there are opportunities. Whether price breaks up or down, you can have your guesses of which way it's going to go, but at the end, it doesn't really matter until we break out, and then you can follow that trend. You could guess it breaks down, but then it breaks up and still take some nice buys, and vice versa as well. So it could break to the downside. It's 50-50 at the end of the day. We'll wait for it to do, and then we can plot some nice opportunities. But we'll wait and see. Okay, what point did you decide to make the transition to trade full time? Well, after I left university, I was fully focusing on trading at that point in time. So at that point in time, the only kind of real career path I wanted to follow was trading. So after I made the commitment to leave university and focus on trading, um, shortly after that time. Indicators are great, but if they come consistent in your trading style, of course, of course. Again, I know many traders who use indicators and they work very, very well. Some traders will use a lot of indicators and they can make sense of that and they can use it very well. Like we say many times on this stream, there's so many different ways to trade. It's about finding a way, making it work, and you can take different ideas from different people. But the key thing is you have to go and test them because like we said, there's many ways of trading, but if you're just going to kind of flow with the flow and take different ideas from different people and just kind of just trade half-heartedly, then of course you're going to see half-hearted results. You have to take some information, go and test it yourself, see if it backs up and see if you know how to apply it well, practice, and then you can make that into something. Yeah, of course, Victor. If it breaks that low, then yeah, we've got a lot of downside to look into. You bullish on yen. Wait, Pop, are you bullish on JPY, the currency, or are you bullish on JPY pairs? Then it's not about predicting whether it's going to break up or down. It's about reacting, and once it does, beautiful statement there, Ben. I like that with a little key emoji there as well. I think that's really the key to trading because if you look at some of the greatest traders ever to trade, they're not necessarily gurus in terms of they know exactly what price is going to do. They don't. They just know how to react to price very well and take opportunities of high quality again and again and again and again. When they see this, okay, I'm going to buy. When they see that, okay, I'm going to sell. It's not like, okay, I just know where Euro USD is going to be trading at next week. They don't. But whatever price gives to them, they can make use of that based on their plan, based on their strategy, and find good opportunities and good edges within that price. And that's really what you're looking for. So whether price is going to break up or down is irrelevant, really. It's about finding the opportunities for it. And as I suggested, if we break higher, something like this is what I'm going to be eyeing up. If we break lower, something like that is going to be eyeing up. And that's the important thing. You know, what am I going to do if price does this, and what am I going to do if price does that? That's the key thing. Okay. What did I study at uni? I studied civil engineering. Yep, civil engineering, which was, yeah, it was good fun. But yeah, not for me. Not for me. Maybe in another universe. Gold 1 minute business. Anton, kudos to you, mate. Always on the 1 minute time frame. Yeah, I suppose gold is just flying in the 1 minute. Oh no, it's taking a bit of a breather. Being a nice little trend there, actually. But yeah, it is seeing some downside there. But of course, if you switch to the 4 hour, it just looks really bullish. Do you have a trade plan going on for the 1 minute? You're looking for something there, Anton? Um, yeah, of course, consistency in trading style, I agree. Well, consistency in the edge, really. So much used to study results. Yeah, of course, consistency in the edge is the most important thing. Applying the same edge again and again. Because if you're applying this edge, that edge, his edge, her edge, then you know what is the edge because with edge in trading, it's period of time. It's not singular trades. You don't take a trade and win because the edge was great. You win over time because you're applying the same edge, and that edge plays over time. It's like having a weighted coin. You could flip the coin and it might still land on the wrong side, but if you flip it, you know, more times, then the weighted side will play out in the long run. It won't be 100%, although you can get 100% weighted coins too. But you guys get my point. Were you profitable at the time after university, or you traded full time? Wasn't profitable till that it worked. Well, I was finding some nice consistency at university, but it's probably about 6 months after. Yeah, 6 months after, until I was very confident in my trading. 6 months after leaving university. Okay, I have friends that do that at Min, they drilling the roads and piping, etc. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the civil engineering I was studying, it was a bit more the math side of things. So you weren't really doing any active stuff in terms of drilling roads and doing piping. Um, it was more calculating the concrete and how much concrete you need, and um, the angle of the beam and the weighting of the beam, and how to. I mean, it's a long time ago, so my knowledge is a bit rusty, but it was a lot of maths, a lot of physics, a lot of maths in it. I was looking at water dynamics, thermodynamics. Yeah, there was a lot of that. If I say water dynamics, I meant to say hydrodynamics. Anton, 3 USD down gold and cash. Yeah, I'm not so sure what you're saying there. Ben, are we bullish on BTC yet? BTC is kind of just teasing the idea, isn't it? By the way, is there some markets I haven't looked at yet for someone? I think I was supposed to look at Aussie yen or something. If I haven't looked at a pair someone's requested and you're waiting, just drop it down in the chat. But yeah, we'll take a look at Bitcoin. Philip, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I'm doing good, my man. Hope you're well. Sold your USD at okay. We'll go through that. I think someone else got a very similar trade to that, but we'll take a look. Holding on to any recent documentary about your rise to become the UK's biggest hedge fund, from dropping out of university to the hedge fund manager. It'll be out soon, Holy One. I'll make sure. I'll make sure I get some of you guys to star in it. Engineering is tough. Yeah, it is. Yeah, engineers get my respect 100%. 100%, they get my respect because it's just a lot of maths, a lot of physics, really. And I mean, nowadays you're using a bit more computers. Like it's not just, of course, it won't be you just calculating a number, and then that number is gonna, it's going what people rely on to build something with. So there's a lot more computers, but it's a lot of maths, a lot of physics. And the reason why I studied civil engineering is because I did very well in maths and physics in school. So I was just like, okay, I'm good at that. So let me just keep doing that, really. So that's why I followed that path. But yeah, I was just looking around thinking, there's no way I'm doing this. But yeah, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Anyway, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Okay, so yeah, with Bitcoin, it looks like it's breaking out. I've got to give Bitcoin the credit for that. This is kind of the channel I've been looking at for a while, and technically we have broken out the side of the channel there. So it's a breakout, but it's just not a breakout which fills me with a lot of confidence. As I've said previously, this is the area I'm looking for price to break out of, which is a wide range, but for good reason. If we can get a solid break of that strong, because if you compare silver and gold, look at the price action on silver on Friday. Lovely bullish candle there. If I can see that on Bitcoin, I know that's going to trigger everyone into, oh my God, Bitcoin's flying. But to me, from a technical side of things, that's a very important candle and a big characteristic. And then, yeah, I'll be very much on the buys, and you'll probably be seeing something like this happen on the left, repeat again on the right. So there's that opportunity there for Bitcoin. But at the moment, the breakout's kind of pretty half-hearted. I wouldn't really be surprised if we were to see a big drop and prices to bleed back inside there. And that to me would just be a big fake out. And then at that point, I'll be looking at a lot more downside. So I think the shorts are still there, but we need to come back in the range, of course. If we are going to buy and see a lot more upside, then this is really the key thing I want to break. I know we've cleared this high here, but I'm just not convinced yet, really. It definitely is a breakout. It definitely is a sign that Bitcoin can start to trend higher. But if you can break this 69K area, 70K area, I think that's going to be the tipping point. And then, yeah, I think just pullbacks and similar opportunities to gold and silver. I think that's what Bitcoin has in store, but I'm not sold yet. Still waiting on 72 on oil. Damn. Staying patient though, Will. Kudos on that. Kudos on that. FX Wolf, would you like to go on a new challenge? What challenge is that, FX Wolf? They're underpaid. Yeah, very, very true. There should be a load up MetaTrader, click buttons. Yeah, very true. Very true. Very underpaid. I mean, a lot of people underpaid in the UK, to be fair. Teachers, doctors, engineers, the whole shebang, really. The weekly close on BTC was beautiful. Let's see the weekly candle close. Oh, okay. Okay, that does make me rethink things a little bit, to be honest, actually. Weekly candle does give me a bit more confidence in that buy. That is a nice candle, I have to admit. Yeah, I mean, again, with the daily being a bit half-hearted, I'll still like to see a nice break above that, but I wouldn't be so against some slightly aggressive buys, possibly a retest of that high there. and looking for some opportunities like that, because the weekly was a very good close. Because that is a type of candle you want to see in terms of a breakout. The daily doesn't look particularly great, but we could see a pullback there of the weekly, retest some structure and beyond. So I think the safe opportunity would be waiting for this high to break. The only thing about that is that sometimes we don't get pullback. Sometimes price just breaks out and we just go, or you have to really scale down to the low time frames to find some entries. So that is a possibility. But if we were to come back and retest the high here, I think that's a decent trade actually, given what the weekly's doing. Bit more aggressive, but again, your stop loss is going to be here. If it's triggered, there's probably prices breaking to the downside anyway. You can switch your bias around and maybe take some nice shorts, and you keep your risk small. And if you're right, you could be at the start of a really nice trend there as well. So the reward is definitely worth the risk for Bitcoin, I would say. So yeah, slightly more aggressive opportunity, but I like the weekly close. If you're really waiting for the cherry on top, then break 69, break 70K, and look for some pullbacks there. But either way, it does look like Bitcoin's breaking out. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. Excuse me. Exactly, Holy One. Exactly. And yeah, if we're going to be honest, us traders are not really essential pieces of the puzzle for an economy, really. We're just kind of trading for our sake. Of course, if you look at hedge funds as well, that's different. But in terms of retail traders, anyway, we're just trading for our sake. But teachers, doctors, engineers, yeah, they're essential for society, and then they're underpaid. So yeah, that is a bit messed up, 100%. Yeah, the daily doesn't look great, but the weekly's good close. So that does give me a bit more confidence. But I would still want to break that 69, 70K area. True, Bitcoin is a FOMO market as well. When price is flying, everyone's like, wow, look at Bitcoin, let me buy. And when it's falling, it's like, oh no, let's cash out, take all away my Bitcoin. Yeah, very true, very true. Again, Bitcoin's a relatively new market. So it doesn't have the history like a S&P 500 will do. But in terms of the history we do have, since 2011, the market has been pretty consistent. I have to give it that. So when we ask, getting to these ideas of potential breakouts and potential another bull run, they're definitely very serious, because we know that the average buy of Bitcoin, or retail buy of Bitcoin, is going to be buying it because of the opportunity and because it's bullish. So if it's breaking out, people are buying. And of course, if it's selling, people are just panic selling as well. So they're kind of flowing with the market here. So a strong candle breaking the high might get people excited. Then you start to see Bitcoin in some newspapers and in some social media posts a lot more, because everyone's starting to talk about it again. But yeah, Bitcoin's in an interesting area. Possibly could be the sign of a really big move. In the grand scheme of things, not really, Holy One, to be honest. I mean, we can do by teaching and giving back to other traders as well. And you can create some businesses inside trading, which could provide some jobs for people as well, who don't necessarily have to be traders either. And so yeah, there is some value, but compared to teaching, of course, it doesn't come close. Or of course, doctors, it doesn't come close at all. So yeah, a little bit selfish from us, but if you put your money back into the economy, you do help out to a degree. But yeah, the important workers of teaching and looking after people is definitely underpaid. But hey, let's not digress too much here. I'm not trying to start a new political debate here on stream. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my trading. I know some of you guys are looking at some yen pairs. I know Will's still looking at oil, waiting for the retest of 72. Oh, that's a really nice close in the weekly chart. I haven't really looked at oil since last week. That's a really nice close on the weekly chart. Oh, okay, so it did keep selling off then. It did keep selling off. I remember last time I had a look, price was trading around here. So Friday ended up pretty bearish. But in my book, it does look like we still do have some room to the downside here, because this is the weekly level of support I'm looking at. And that's where I'm expecting price to come back and retest. And I know 72 is a really nice area for that retest, or for look for sales anyway for that move. And I'm looking at these lower highs, one over there, second there, potentially a third. Line them up. That's kind of our area of confluence, and probably find some entries then. I'm pretty sure this is kind of what you're looking at for oil. So yeah, I really do like oil. I think there is definitely a lot of downside opportunity. Just have to be patient for that pullback. Now, there is another area price might want to sell off from, which is this area right here. So we may find some resistance here, struggle, and then possibly sell off from that area. And we might not see the bigger pullback you're after. Um, that's up to price. That's not for us to decide. But if price was to push a little bit higher to 72, that does look like a nice area for a short to me. So yeah, if I'm looking at oil, I would wait for 72 as well. If it does retest that level and sell, yeah, so be it. But if we can get that bigger pullback, great. I'll be looking for entries up there. And the risk reward looks really good to me as well. So yeah, in terms of the direction, the idea, I like it. I'm very much on board with that. I do think we can see some downside back into that low. So I'm on board. Oil monthly chart looks very bearish as well. Yeah, I've chatted about the monthly chart for oil a few times. I do think eventually we're going to break lower. I'm looking at the bigger picture here. I do think the floor here probably will break, and we'll probably see some downside. There's a massive support around here. I mean, I'm not going to make the call that we're going to drop that far, but it's a possibility. It's a pretty big floor here, but the market has been very consistent with all these lower highs. So I do think I'm going to see something like that happen. But again, I'm not going to speak on that too much, because that could take into next year. We're already in October. So maybe for the rest of the year, price kind of just sideways moves, and then maybe next year we see the move. So it's probably nothing to be concerned too much about now until we see the break. But yeah, for now, for oil, looking at a bit more downside and some pullbacks, which lines up pretty well with oil, with CAD as well, because CAD interest rates are expected to drop on Wednesday. And if interest rates do drop, then CAD is going to be weak. And of course, if oil's weak, CAD's typically weak anyway. And with the interest rates as well, CAD will be extra weak. So we might be seeing a lot of downside for CAD this week, to be honest, which could mean CAD CHF speeds up its process to the downside, because I'm still looking at a big push back to this low here. So you might see that happen a little bit quicker. Pound CAD might still continue the trend a little bit further. New Zealand CAD, Aussie CAD, these guys might push up. Euro CAD as well. Maybe dollar CAD still flies. But hopefully we can get pullback first though. Still can't get over this move on gold. Yeah, gold's done a craziness. It's almost too much, to be honest. But hopefully we can get the pullback, because the past three breakouts I've looked for retests here. No retest, and hopefully this time we get a retest. And then yeah, I'm looking at taking gold higher. Same with silver as well. Someone definitely knows something we don't. Yeah, I mean, look at us. We're just retail traders with limited information. With limited information, and that's the thing with retail traders. We're very much on the outskirts of the trading world in terms of the information we know, um, and the information we have access to. Which is why many retail traders lose. I mean, there's the whole psychological element too, but in terms of just the information we know is quite limited. So you have to be very, very, very serious with your trading because you're trading against the whole world, really. You know, for you to have edge, you have to have edge over other people. Um, so you have to be really up to shape with your trading because if not, then people have edge over you. Theory is no retest, no entry. Yeah, that's kind of how I work. No retest, no entry. If I don't get that pull back into the level I'm looking to buy from, then it's just not a trade for me to take. Gold to 5K by 2028. I don't think that's the most crazy thing, to be honest. It is very, very doable. 5K is all the way up here. I mean, who knows with the current climate of the world and everything. But yeah, 5K is doubling price almost. So everything we've done since the start of gold has been doubled in the next 4 years, really, or 3 years, really, to be honest. Well, 4 years. It's because we're almost coming to 2025. But yeah, 4 years, we could double that price. And it's true because gold is exponential. We're pushing up quicker and quicker as time continues. But yeah, very, very bullish. And the thing about gold is we're going to have that bigger retracement at some point. It's not going to keep flying all the way to 5K, or at least probably not anyway. It will go through a bigger retracement. Something like this will come out at some point. A consolidation like that might come up at some point as well. So we will get that bigger retracement at some point. But really, we're just seeing a. Let me actually measure that. So that's a 76% move. That's a 66. So we're almost as big as that in terms of percentage. In terms of pips, we've got 900.8. That's 1,001. So in terms of percentage, it's not as big, but in terms of pips, the move we've seen here from this breakout is bigger than this move. So we really let fly here for gold. Of course, this move here is crazy. Yeah, 600%. But then in terms of pips, it's not too much difference. That's 1,006 and that's 1,001. We're not too far off a move like that. That's because gold's becoming more exponential. So the breakout's going to be bigger. The next breakout's going to be bigger than the last. But yeah, it's been a really impressive breakout. But I do think we'll be coming up to a top soon. Not necessarily top where we'll reverse, but top where we'll probably see a bigger pullback at some point. And of course, continue the phase, of course. But for now, at least, I'm just only interested in the buys. Break and retest, follow the trend. Break and retest, follow the trend. Anything else, I'm not really interested in. Yeah, 5 to 5K, one huge candle. And the 15-minute candle to 5K. Do you ever use log charts? No, I don't really look at log charts. I have used it a little bit with crypto because crypto can be a little bit hard to read normally and put everything into perspective. So looking at the log chart of Bitcoin makes it a little bit more easier to read, but not for FX. Not for FX. Because if I expand to like the weekly chart, you can see it looks pretty neat and tidy there. You can look at the swings. You can look at proportionally how big they are as well. That's another thing as well. The swings of Bitcoin are becoming a little bit smaller each time. But you can just see overall how the market's moving compared to the normal chart, which of course it becomes very difficult to work out, especially down here. But with normal FX, I wouldn't look at the log chart. And it doesn't change much either, because if I click the log, everything is still pretty much the same. But FX, no. I suppose maybe for gold it might work a little bit. One 50-minute candle to 5K. That's longer than the M6. Twice as long. Now I can tell you, 150-minute candle to 5K is going to be a big payday for a lot of people, and it's going to end a lot of people's time in the markets as well. A lot of money we made, a lot of money we lost. But to be honest, it kind of serves you right for shorting gold right now, because that is ridiculous. Is anyone looking to take some shorts in gold? I mean, I understand looking to short gold and take advantage of a bit of retracement, but you got to be quick with it. You got to be in and out of the trade. You're not looking to hold shorts for too long, because of course at some point it's going to retrace. It's not going to fly forever, or at least maybe not according to Ben, but it's not going to fly forever. It's going to pull back. So I can understand the shorts, but you want to be in there very, very quickly and take your profits and run. I think silver might be the better market to look at, really, actually, because gold's often one, but silver, we just had a fresh big breakout of the high, looking for the retest of that. And if I can get the retest, that'll be great. And I'll just see how far I can take it. Hopefully we can go through a similar phase like what gold is doing, start to trend and pick up some pace, because eventually I do think silver's coming right back to that all-time high, and we're way away from it. So there's so much room for us to move into. Hopefully you can find some pullbacks. But yeah, the plan really is look for break and retest around 32.9 and find some entries there in the 4 hour, and then just trail for as long as possible. Same kind of thing with gold as well. But yeah, in terms of Euro USD, I think someone had a short trade, which I completely forgot to go through. But in terms of Euro USD, I'm still looking for a bit more downside for them. I think dollar still got a bit more upside in the tank. I'm looking for the dollar to push into 104, 104.5. And then I'm looking for some downside there for the dollar. So the move I'm looking at this week really for the USD pairs is a move down. We've had a really nice push up. I'm not going to be looking to take any more buys, especially as a swing trader. I should already be in that move if I wanted to have traded it. Of course, day trading, there's upside. There's shorter term moves to take advantage of. But in terms of a swing bias, a long-term swing bias, the move now really is to the downside, really, for the dollar. So as we do approach 104, 104.5 into these areas, I do think there is room to the downside for the dollar to move into. And of course, on the opposite side of the spectrum, there's room for euro to push up into. So yeah, for Euro USD, I like the shorts intraday. Coming back into the top end of that channel, market looks like we're putting in those lower highs. To me, that looks like another lower high formation, and I'll expect another move back down. And I'm looking across the board at other USD pairs as well, pretty much seeing bearish signs across the board. Of course, bullish for dollar CAD, bullish for dollar CHF to an extent. Aussie dollar looks like it's doing the same thing too. So yeah, I think we've probably got a bit more room to the downside for the USD pairs. And if you're intraday short on euro, I like it. I just wouldn't try and take the trade too far. I think target's back at the low there, 1.082, 1.08 on the dot. Look pretty good. What's up, Lauda? Welcome to the stream. Hello, hello, hello. But yeah, I wouldn't look to push it past that low there, because we've already had a big drop there since the end of September. We've been falling pretty hard. So shorts, yes, you're riding that momentum, but we're well aware that we've seen that momentum for a while. I'm probably going to see a pullback at some point. In FX, we don't tend to go in one direction for too long without a pretty big pullback. So yeah, I do expect to see some upside creep in. So yeah, do watch out for that for Euro USD. But besides from that, I like the opportunity. Keeping it simple, riding that momentum, call it a day at the low. Yeah, these crosses, I think unless something big happens, I don't see myself trading these for a while. All right, Ben, have a good one, man. Take care. Hopefully catch you tomorrow. Holy one, yeah, that's CAD gone higher. Remember the start of the H4 move. I was shorting. Imagine if I held that, so I would have blown the 100K account. Lol. Yeah, yeah, that's where the risk management comes in. Yeah, that's even more important than taking the profits, really. Yeah, as you mentioned last week. Um, but yeah, it's quite interesting sometimes to actually come back and look at some trades after a while, because I mean, of course, the market's only got two ways to move into, but you come back and look at some trades, you're like, okay, if I held that for like 3 weeks, I would have made 10 times my profit just by doing nothing, just holding that trade. Equally, there will be trades where if you held onto it for 3 weeks, you'd be looking at a massive, massive loss. So you got to manage the trade accordingly. But there will be times where you get massive trade. I remember Holy One last week. I think you were talking about you were buying US 30 at some point, and if you held onto that trade, it would be a massive winner as well. I think you'll probably see a lot more of that with the indices than FX, which is a bit more choppy. Speaking of the indices, they've been pretty bullish. Yeah. So yeah, there will be those trades that just keep going, keep going. And again, sometimes difficult to take advantage of them because in terms of the trade management, you need to protect yourself as well. Not every trade is going to fly, and you have to optimize your trading for the average. In terms of, okay, if I do this 100 times, is it going to make me more profitable? At least in the FX, looking to just let trades run as far as possible can be good, but you have to do it in the right conditions. If you do that with choppy markets like CAD CHF or UNZD, price is going to come back to your back to your entry price a lot of the time. In terms of yen pairs, yen pairs you have a lot more luck because you have a lot more direction to it and it flows a little bit more. Then even then again, sometimes they do become a bit choppy. But indices, that's a different ball game. Crypto, different ball game as well. Gold, different ball game too. So yeah, it's good to diversify the markets you trade, and then have different plans for them as well. Gold business, what's that? Anton, you said that a couple times now. I'm not too sure what you mean in gold business. Do you want me to take a look at gold, or are you getting into a gold business? What's going on? I'm unsure what you mean by that. How is pound yen doing? Yeah, I'm still holding on to that resistance. So yeah, I'll let this one do its thing, but yeah, I'm expecting it to probably break higher, but then again, it's been so corrective. There's a good chance we could still drop as well. So when I go into the trade, I put the stop loss above the high for good reason. So I'm gonna let it do its thing, and if it is going to take the stop, let it hit the stop. And if it is going to reverse, let it give it the chance it needs to reverse as well. But it's really 50-50 at the moment for a lot of these yen pairs because CAD yen, we had that range over there. Euro yen, we've got the range over here. New Zealand yen, you've got the range over here. Aussie yen, you got the range over here. Dollar yen, don't really have a range to be honest with this one. It's just kind of an upwards channel. So this one, probably the odd one out. And Swiss yen, you got the range over here. So you got a range pretty much with all of the major yen pairs. So even though we've had some momentum this morning, I'm not going to read into it too much because we could see an equally strong candle pushing down this afternoon, and it doesn't mean much either. It's really what we do on our breakouts. Can we break through the highs? Can we break the lows? Then that's going to be a big indication of what we're going to expect for the yen pairs in the near future. But what we do inside of here doesn't really have too much say. Gold is business. No gold, no business. Okay. Still not sure what you're talking about there. I guess gold is just what you focus on. But then I know you trade the indices too. Okay, have a good one, Will. We'll catch you tomorrow, my man. Don't forget to like and sub. Yeah, appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and do subscribe to the channel as well. It does really help out. And of course, if you are enjoying this stream, enjoying the channels, show some love. It does help out. Of course, hit the bell too, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. And if you guys haven't checked out Living Trades Discord, make sure you go check it out. Completely free to join. Discount opportunities there as well for challenges. If you're looking to purchase challenge, make sure you head to the Discord channel to grab yourself that discount code. And of course, you can join in other discussions. I frequently share trade opportunities there as well, so do other people. So if you want to join in discussions, make sure you go check it out. But yeah, the yen pairs are just sideways. So until they break out, I'm not going to try and get wrapped up into them because it is really 50-50. And then when we do break out, then I can, of course, say what I'm expecting. But now it's anyone's game. And that's really what I'm seeing across the board for a lot of the other markets too. Just a lot of choppy price action. And then as you trade a lot more and you gain more experience in the market, you do realize that what are your best trades and what works well, and then you want to focus on those trades and on those setups and what characteristics are present when you do take those trades, and of course the exact opposite as well. What doesn't do well, what doesn't work out well. And I know for myself is that when there's clear direction and clear trend, clear levels to trade from, then that's when I perform my best. When the market's a little bit more choppy and decisive and I'm trying to wiggle or find an entry somewhere, that's normally when I'm doing too much and it doesn't work out well in the long run. So because of that, I know exactly the conditions I want to focus on. So when I'm analyzing markets, because I do trade a lot of markets, it's very, very quick to find the market that I'm looking to trade and that I want to focus on. I can tell within the first kind of 30 seconds whether I should look further into the market or I should just move on to another pair. And of course, the best way to get that is through experience, and that will teach you a lot. But then again, other people thrive on a bit more choppy conditions. You got to find what your strengths are and play to them. Because you don't have to look to do everything in the markets. And I think if you look at the best traders, if you look at the best traders that I've ever traded, they don't do everything and anything. Majority of them have one specific thing they focus on and they master that very well. It comes back to that saying of, well, there's two ways of looking at master a jack of all trades or a master one, or I think that Bruce Lee comment he made, quote, about, I fear the man who's practiced one move 1,000 times, not 1,000 move once. Just get a little quote in there. But I think that's so true in terms of trading, because if you look at all the best traders, they all have that niche thing they focus on, they do very well. Like a certain type of market with a certain type of trade in a certain type of area, and they just focus on that very well. not everything and everything. So get your focus, understand what you want to focus on, and just become the best at it, really. And you'll be rewarded for it. Some people come into the market say, "Oh, it's lovely and choppy. I can make a killing from this." Yeah, exactly, exactly. Because again, with everyone trying to focus on trending markets, there's opportunity in the choppy ones as well. So, I mean, I certainly don't know many traders who do that, who get excited by a choppy market. Most of the traders I know always favor trending markets. But if you do like choppy markets, then you that's when you thrive. That's when you get excited. That's when your eyes light up. For me, that's when my eyes dim and I want to stay away. I've had my fair share of choppy market trades that don't work out very well. I do like some of these buys here for these USD pairs, Aussie dollar, euro. I like the most. And of course, gold and silver is just a different ball game, so I'm treating them differently to the other USD pairs. But yeah, it just comes back to know what you want. What's up, Kwame? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. But yeah, it comes back to know what you want for the market. So I think if I was looking back at my journey, I'm thinking, how could I speed things up? How could I get to where I wanted to be quicker? And looking back, I'd say the biggest thing was focus on one thing and just master that. Because especially with the world of social media today, you see this guy doing that guy doing this, and you're like, oh, I want a bit of that, I want a bit of that, I want a bit of that. What's he doing? He looks like he's doing really well. Let me focus on that. Oh, this guy's doing well. So it's very easy to get distracted and kind of just be all over the shop. But if you can take just a set few ideas, test out the market, find some rhythm in that, and just become a monster at those set few things, it will pay off so much more. And then, of course, later you can always add to your game. Okay, you can get one strategy down. Maybe I want to master a different strategy for different conditions, and you can look to slowly work on that. But just get one thing down very well. And looking back at my journey, if I did that, I'd probably be a lot further ahead, um, and got profitable a lot sooner as well. Yeah, it does become like a Chinese buffet, specifically Chinese buffet as well, because everything is good. So you just want to take a bit of everything. Exactly, you take a bit of everything, which is not optimal. I get when you grow as a trader and you experiment with different markets, then yeah, you do want to add more to your game. But if you're just starting out, you just want to find something and stick with that until you're very good at it. And then if you want to expand, you can always expand later on and you can discard if you want to. But you don't want to start out trying to learn everything. You're just going to slow your journey way down. And it's a bit pointless, really, because if you want to learn anything, you've got to focus on that first and then progress with that anyway. Yeah, true. I mean, many things are different, but in terms of indicators, I suppose they're a little bit more easier to understand looking at specific naked charts as well. So, but then again, you still want to understand your price action as well. But then, of course, if you can combine set few indicators and find some opportunities within those indicators, specific areas, um, specific things that line up together, you're like, okay, this is the time to buy, this is the time to sell. You can find really nice edges within that. And as long as you specific and you wait for those times to come around, then you can create some really nice opportunities and really nice strategies with it. An indicator, trading style, and scalping oil didn't lose money. Yeah, I mean, I know many people that use indicators very well and have really nice results from it. It's just about finding the specifics as well. And also, as I do keep touching on as well, is that conditions change as well and periods change as well. You could have a really nice few months in the market and then suddenly it becomes a bit more difficult. You're not seeing as consistency as you were previous That's completely fine as well. The markets will do that too. You might have a really nice period in the market where you're making a lot of money. For example, we can use gold as a nice indication of that. People looking to trade trending strategies in this type of market condition will perform very, very well. Buying pullbacks, buying dips, trading stops, really looking to take advantage of that trend. They'll have phenomenal results in this area. And when's that? That's from, let's say, August 2018 till about August 2020. So for 2 years, you're really milking gold on the way up. And then for the next probably 2 years, when's this? So you got August 24 till about, let's say, October 2023. I mean, August 2020, sorry, to October 23, and that's when you get the next lovely trend there for gold. So if you had the same strategy, the same edge in this condition here, and you trade it in this condition, you're almost guaranteed to, not almost guaranteed to lose money, but you're definitely going to be probably break even, most likely probably losing a bit of money if you're not switched on, if you had the same edge here as well. You have to be able to adapt in these conditions or just not trade. And then when it's back trending again, then you're back using the edge you had here, looking for those pullbacks and milking the market some more. But if you did what you did over here, over there, like I said, you'd probably be break even, you probably wouldn't make any money. And that's where the awareness comes in. And again, you could be milking money here, start to lose some money, and then that's the time you probably want to step back a little bit now. Not necessarily because the edge is wrong or broken, you need to fix it, just because now's not the time. Now's not the time. And this is the time where if you do have a more mean reversion, range bound strategy, then you can look to deploy that now and take advantage of those conditions. It just becomes difficult in terms of knowing when to apply, because it would take a period of time before you realize it's a range. You're not going to know straight away that from August 2020 it's going to be a range. You don't. But when it starts to do range bound things, then you can back away from the trending strategy, start using the ranging a bit more. And then when things break out and price flies, then you can, okay, I'm back trending again. Let me use that strategy there too. And I think that's a key thing that a lot of new traders will miss out on, because you can use very simple indicators and use simple techniques, but they just use it at the wrong times. A lovely pullback strategy will work well here, but it won't work well here. And then traders will be like, okay, it's broken. It's not broken. It's just that's not the time you want to trade it. And don't get me wrong, within these moves, there are some nice short-term trends as well, which the pullbacks could play out. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to play out that well, as opposed to that as well. So that's a key thing to note too, that when you are developing your strategy, be aware of what conditions they're going to perform well in, and deploy them when the conditions are present. For example, if you're trading a range-bound strategy now, or a mean reversion strategy, or a trend reversal strategy in these conditions, you're going to be eaten alive by gold. 100%. If you're shorting in these conditions, it's not going to work out well. Yeah, but if you're trending and you're buying, and you're just looking for those pullbacks, chances are you be in a bit of profit. So yeah, that's another key thing to look at. Find a strategy, master it, but also master the conditions when the strategy performs. And then you combine that together with a good psychology and a good calm mind, and a clear head. Then you got yourself a really nice opportunity to make a lot of money. So yeah, that's the key things you want to focus on, of course. And then to bring it all together, you need that risk management as well. Because without risk management, anything can blow up at any point as well. So yeah, tie that together, a bit of risk management, and then you got yourself a nice little blueprint to do very well in the markets. But again, that takes time as well. You need experience. You're not going to get that overnight either. So it's a slow process, but definitely a process which is very doable. I've seen some people say that some people are not meant for trading, and maybe that's true on a basic level, but I think anyone who's really determined to learn how to trade can sort of fix themselves to become a good trader in time. But of course, you got to be willing to fix yourself and change some things. Because if you get very emotional and you're a very emotional person, of course, it will be difficult to trade consistently because you just be emotional and you make silly mistakes. But if you're going to be willing to fix that emotional side of you, or at least amend it somehow, then you are a nice opportunity to make some money in trading. But if you stay stubborn and you not change your ways and you still remain emotional, then of course it's never going to work out. But I do think everyone's got it in them to make an attempt. Whether they're successful with it or not, that's a different question. You don't understand people that blow multiple accounts. Yeah, again, that's kind of what I meant by the emotions type of thing. Because of course, if you ask them about it, you know, of course they didn't plan to blow multiple accounts. It just kind of happens because you make a mistake and you're trying to make up for it, and then you don't really care and you over risk and you do it again and again and again. Yeah, so it's an emotional thing, and it's a dangerous loop to get into. Trading over a year blowing counts as bizarre. If you got your risk management on point, then yeah, it should be. Trev, you looking to capitalize on the entry on any pairs, or are you just analyzing? Well, at the moment, just analyzing because there is no entries for me. As I've said, I'm looking to buy silver on a pullback. I'm looking to buy gold on a pullback, but there are no entries for me there yet. I'm looking to buy Euro USD as well from around 1.08. I'm looking to buy Aussie dollar from around 0.665. So those are the entries I'm kind of looking at this week. Maybe they might shape up by Wednesday, I'd say. Gold and silver, I don't know. These guys could just trend really aggressively. But I think Euro, Aussie dollar, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, I might see some nice entries. Gold and silver, I'm just going to stay patient and wait for the pullback. If it happens, I'll be there waiting. If not, yeah, we'll look for something else. But I'll say those are the four markets which I like the most. But yeah, there's no entries for me to take right now. So at the moment, just keeping an eye, and hopefully later the week we can see some entries. All right, Holly One, take care, my man. We'll chat to you tomorrow. But yeah, guys, as I've mentioned, Elevating Traders is now live. So if you haven't gone and checked out the website, go and check out the Discord, make sure you head over to do that. All the links are in the description below. In terms of the website, it's just elevatingtraders.com. But in terms of the Discord, the link to that is at the top of the chat, and also it should be in the description below, so you definitely can't miss it. But yeah, Elevating Traders doors is open, so if you're looking to purchase a challenge or just check it out, feel free to head over to the website or the Discord, check it out. And of course, the Discord, we do have the launch discount there as well, so make sure you're in the Discord to grab that as well. Do you swing trade or scalp? No, swing trade. I do not scalp. But yeah, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. I really do appreciate everyone tuning in. I will be live every day this week, as always, every weekday this week, as always, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you are free, feel free to pop in, say hi, chat to us, have a good time. But guys, really do appreciate you tuning in. If you have liked it, please do me a favor and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. And of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I missed anything out. But guys, have a good one, and I'll catch you all in the next stream.